You're making a huge mistake. Words someone never told me before I started living van life. It being a mistake in general wasn't a mistake, but there's many things that I could talk about that I wish somebody would have told me. I wish I would have had an inside scoop from somebody that lives this lifestyle that would have told me some of these things. But there's three main things that I want to share today that I will just go at it from the sense of I'm talking to myself 3 years ago before I started living the vehicle dwelling lifestyle, the nomadic lifestyle, because I don't want to come off as if I'm talking at you. Of course, every video's got to have a disclaimer nowadays. I'm not talking to the section of nomads that are homeless, like legitimately homeless, that don't have a choice. I'm talking to people like myself that kind of were fed up with paying rent, fed up with traditional jobs and the way people treat you at work, and blah, blah, all the things, and just wanted a different lifestyle, just wanted something more adventurous. So number one, don't lose yourself. When you first start just thinking about, could I actually do this? Oh my gosh, it's very exciting in your heart. You're like, oh my gosh, it's scary, nerve-wracking, challenging, but exciting, and like, a little curious, like what could I find out there in the world? But if you continue to do this lifestyle for year after year after year, you can kind of lose yourself a little bit. You start to feel so free that you're like, I don't really have to get dressed today. I don't really have to go take a shower today. I don't really have to do my hair today. I don't have to do my makeup. I can just kind of laze around. I can do the things that I want to do. And unless you're a very outdoorsy, active person, which I like being outdoors, but I'm not like the most active, you could find yourself laying in your van a lot of the times. Even though I work a lot, I work on my computer, I make videos, and I do a bunch of other things, there'd be many times where I just isolated myself in my van. It can be very easy to kind of give up on yourself. In my mind, I never thought like anything less of myself. But over time, when I wouldn't take the best care of myself, it affected my health and it affected my mental health. And it really brought me down. And I started thinking, I'm kind of living and sort of acting like I am homeless, even though mentally I know I'm not homeless. I started to get that kind of vibe, like I'm a vehicle dweller. And this is kind of the way vehicle dwelling is. Again, I'm not saying everybody has these thoughts or everyone feels like this, but I know I started to feel a little less confident, kind of like I was valued less in society. And along those lines, still within point number one, but point 1B is don't lose your relationships. Spend as much time as you can with the people you love and care about. Being in a van can be very isolating. And if you don't make strides to either make new friends in the nomad community or keep the friends you have, and even the friends that you have that lives in maybe traditional lifestyle type places, like a apartment, house, whatever, if you don't make the effort, it can be very depressing. I'd say mostly America have a lot of depression, but I'd say some of the cultures around the world that don't suffer from as much depression and anxiety, cultures that have more strong family ties, they're not always obsessing about their mental health because they support each other, encourage each other, lift each other up. They're there for each other through the good and the bad. Even when you say people suck, I don't want to be around people, and you abandon other people for a more free, introverted lifestyle, you're giving up your option to be lifted up and encouraged as well. Real quick, as I'm editing this video, I know people suck. Many people suck. I mean, really are ugly inside, but not everybody sucks. There's a lot of wonderful, amazing, beautiful people in this world. I promise if you have the right people surrounding you, your life will be better. So don't give up on people. It's a trade-off. If you want to live a totally introverted lifestyle, in your van out in the middle of nowhere, feel free. But when you maybe feel so depressed that you need to be around society and be around other people, you might feel a little bit like awkward. You've lost some of your social skills, or people have gone on with their lives. And so you might be feeling like intruding in somebody's lifestyle. Point number 2, save as much money as you can. Save as much money as you can. If you choose this lifestyle and you've gotten out of rent or a mortgage, you've sold a lot of your things, put every single penny that you can into a savings account. If you're into investing, do that. If you know what you're doing, or if you have somebody that can help you do that, do that. I see so many people that are like, I'm going to do van life. I'm going to live in my car. I'm going to live in my minivan. It's awesome. It's great. I don't regret doing this lifestyle. I enjoy it. But early on, I didn't really specifically say I was going to save money. But somewhere along the way, I was like, bro, like, you're saving, you're not paying rent. You have the opportunity, even though you don't make the most money, you have the opportunity to save as much money as you can. This is the time, because you're not going to live in this van for the rest of your life. If you're just starting out, I wish I could sit down with you face to face and be like, listen, not a lot of things are worth spending your money on. Take any money, if you're doing a side hustle, or you doing work, or if you're a YouTuber and you're making money on ads or sponsorships or whatever, you only have to spend money on food and gas, and of course like cell phone and maybe medical insurance, whatever. Keep the expenses minimal and sock everything else aside into a savings. Save your money. Also, you need to have an emergency fund for vehicle repairs, because they will happen. Like, something within your vehicle is going to break at some point. You will be so happy and proud of yourself at the end of your journey of living in a vehicle that you're going to be like, I saved $50,000. Even if you save $10,000, I don't know how long you're going to do van life or vehicle life. But if you end up doing it for a few years, it all adds up. And you're going to be so grateful that you saved money while you could. And number 3, something I talked about in my live stream yesterday, is a concept that I'm going to say I invented. Well, I don't want to say I invented the concept, because this concept has been around for a bazillion years. But I'm inventing a new word. I don't know if I invented it, but I did significant Google searches and I don't see this word anywhere else. The concept of moderation has been around for a long time. And I know that word is not sexy. Also, why does everything have to be sexy? I don't even know why I said that, because I kind of hate when people are like, oh, that's sexy. We're not having sex with words or concepts or products. So I don't. Moderation isn't exciting, but let me tell you why it should be. I am no longer a minimalist. I am no longer a maximalist, and that is a thing. It's typically in the design space, interior design concept. I am a modimalist. I invented that because it's the middle ground between those two concepts. For years, I would consider myself a minimalist because I got rid of almost everything in my life, but still I have no furniture to my name. I don't have a lot of things. Pretty much everything I have is in this van. So I would consider myself a minimalist. Even though I pretty much have very little possessions in my life, it's not enough. Oh, you have 20 tops? You're not a minimalist. You have to have 3 tops. Oh, you own 3 cups? Not a minimalist. You have to own 1 cup in your life. When you hitch your wagon to a group or a tribe or whatever you want to call it, so I would say I would consider myself a pescatarian. You always have people that are like, you're not a vegetarian because you eat fish. Okay, I'm a pescatarian. Ugh, you occasionally eat meat once a year. You can't call yourself a pescatarian. Or there was a time where I was doing veganism for just like a hot minute. You eat honey? You're banned. You're canceled. I can't even believe you'd even consider calling yourself a vegan. Extreme. Someone can't just be living in that lifestyle. They have to be extreme on one side or the other. I'm so sick of the people that are like, it's the winner of the minimalist Olympics in order to be considered a minimalist. When I first started living in a vehicle, I didn't know how long I was going to do it, but I felt like I was going to do it for many years. But the longer I do it, the more burnt out I get. The more I realize I would rather have a hybrid lifestyle. And that's more of an extreme concept, like that if you are not in your van 24/7, you're not a nomad, you're not a van lifer or whatever. It's okay. I don't care if somebody calls me a nomad or a van lifer or whatever. I don't care. I live the way I live or whatever. But pigeonholing myself into a van for the rest of my life for the sake of the thoughts and opinions of other people has been to my detriment. And I'm pushing past that. And I'm circling back around to a moderate lifestyle, a modalism lifestyle, because everything in moderation. My mom taught me that from an early age, and it has served me well. Every time that I've done something to the extreme, I've gotten so burnt out and so anxious and so depressed that it's caused me health problems. But every time I've done something with kind of a moderate thought process, like I'm going to do this for a while and then I'm going to do this for a while and I'm not going to be extreme, I've had more success. So I've been doing this van life for a few years, and I'm rounding out to the point where I'm not going to be doing it full time. I have some things coming up in the future that I'll talk about in upcoming videos and live streams and stuff like that. But for now, I'm still in my van. But to say that I'm going to do this for the rest of my life, no. There's such thing as travel fatigue, decision fatigue, and at a certain point, it might sound ungrateful, but after you've seen so many oceans, lakes, mountains, forests, it all blends in and you're like, I just want to sit down and relax. I just want to rest. I can't even enjoy it anymore because it's almost like someone forcing it into your face. At a certain point, like you can only, this one time, let me tell you a quick little story and then we're going to wrap it up here. This one time I was a kid and I wanted some Oreos, and I don't know why my parents let me do this, by the way, but whatever. They let me have a whole package of Oreos. I don't think they even knew that I was doing this, and I got a bowl and I unscrewed it and took all the innards out of the Oreo and I rolled it into a big ball and I started eating it as if it was just like a sandwich. I felt so sick after eating all that creamy filling that it left such a bitterness towards Oreos in my mind for years after that. And I think I was just like, I don't know, 7 or 8. I don't even know. I'm just making that up because I don't remember. Oreos are delicious, but if you eat too many, you're going to feel sick to your guts. And that's kind of how I've started to feel about living a full-time travel lifestyle. The lifestyle didn't do anything to me. It's my decisions to be so extreme, like I have to live in a vehicle all the rest of my life. And you really don't. So although I still love travel, I need to take a break. And so what I'm saying on this third point is living a moderate lifestyle will get you everything that you want. A balanced lifestyle. People don't like to talk about balance. They like to talk in extremes. There's something so awesome to be said for. Years down the line, I could say, I traveled internationally. I lived in a van for a while. I was part of a church cult. I was on a game show on TV. I wrote and recorded a music album. I've eaten pasta in Italy. I mean, the list goes on. There's so many things that I've done, but it's because I didn't lock myself into one thing for my whole life. Everything has been in moderation, and there's nothing wrong with owning 10 shirts. There's nothing wrong with eating a little bit of meat here and there. There's nothing wrong with living in a van for a few months and living in an apartment for a few months, as long as you don't isolate yourself and not be there for other people as well. Because I think we've abandoned each other, and you can see, especially in America, how everybody is so lonely. Why? Because we're so hyper-focused on ourselves. We're self-obsessed. We need to stop focusing 100% on ourselves and how we can have the best of all the things for ourselves, and start including other people in those things too. It'll make you feel good, so it's kind of still selfish. So those are the 3 things that I wish somebody would have told me before I started living in my vehicle or van life. So if somebody hasn't told you today, you are valuable, you are loved, and I hope you have a blessed day. Bye for now. Snack time.